Trump's stance riling up parts of the GOP base to political pros Mercedes Schlapp and Katherine Mangu-Ward on what the fallout is. Mercedes, who's getting upset about these comments?
Well, I think you have those in the Muslim community who are getting upset. The Democrats, as we know, Hillary Clinton has talked about his comments as well. But, you know, Donald Trump does have a point. And I spoke with several Muslim Americans who basically said, look, the Muslims have to lead this fight. Islam has been hijacked by these radical militants. And it's very clear that Muslims, part of it is their ability, if it is part of their community, and what we've seen in Belgium, for example, you look at, for example, Abdeslam, who basically was helped by a childhood friend to get out of Paris, was then being hidden with a family with children in this area of Molenbeek in Belgium. This is a problem. If you have within your community and then you have those people surrounding the community who happen to be Muslim not reporting this and not cooperating and being transparent with the police.
Katherine, what can be done to help these Muslims come out? I spoke earlier today about living and growing up in a neighborhood where people were afraid to squeal because they were afraid of retribution. Now, some of this is because they sympathize, obviously, with these potential terrorists and radicalized individuals, but some of it also is intimidation. How do we make this thing work better?
You know, I actually think that Trump is going about it precisely the wrong way. I get that people like it. They think he says things other people are too scared to say. But this is not pushing back against political correctness. This is not urging people to come forward in a spirit of community. This is scapegoating the members of a major world religion without any evidence that these people have a more serious problem.
We just saw in Brussels where the guy from the Paris attack was hiding in plain sight in the neighborhood. I mean, I don't think you can say that. I don't know why you would say that. Every American, by the way, bears some responsibility for keeping their community safe. And that includes Muslim Americans, doesn't it?
What Trump said was that there was something particular about Muslims that made them less likely to come forward and to be helpful. And that's not the case. People's friends and family, of course, do protect them. I don't think what Trump said should be illegal. He should be allowed to say that. But I do think it was immoral.
Okay, well, these radical Islamists, they are Muslim. And they live amongst mostly the Muslim community. So there is a responsibility that comes from that community to be able to cooperate with the police. There was an incident, for example, in Belgium yesterday where the cops went in and started asking questions. And there were several of those Muslims who basically were taunting the police officers.
But do you think the anti-Muslim climate that Trump creates in America is making people more likely to cooperate with the U.S. government?
They should cooperate, I tell you that. And I will tell you, let's not forget, Salam, he was captured because of a tip. Someone cooperated, and that goes a long way.
And we need more of that.
Let's leave it there. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.